Happy New Year! Back with my same old favorites, New Year. Okay, starting with something that I have been obsessed with for, I think, over 2 months. Okay, it might seem like a regular hairbrush to you, but it is not. This is the Tangle Teezer, okay? So I got this at the Amazon creator thing I was in at Palm Springs in October. And honestly, I took this little guy on my trip. I had stopped using hairbrushes, okay? So here's the deal. I had stopped using hairbrushes for a really long time. I used to have like a big detangler, those, wide tooth combs. I've even lost that for the past few years. And with short hair, you really don't need to kind of brush it a lot. You just kind of wing it, okay? So I realized that I had no brushes, and then when they gave me this in the samples, I was like, oh my god, this is perfect for travel. It's so cute and tiny, especially if you want to like slick back your hair and stuff. And then I realized, oh my god, this is the Tangle Teezer, which is amazing for wet hair. Okay, now this has bristles that are really bendy, you can see. Honestly, I have 3 of these, okay? So I got this one. You probably saw it in the vlog while I was walking around. They were just handing out the minis. This was actually in the whole gift bag, which is the limited edition holiday one, which is why it's gold. And I got I think a third one, which I won in one of the games or whatever, which I gave to my best friend. And even she was like, oh my god, this is amazing. So yeah, I've used it on both dry hair and wet hair. This is literally the only brush I have. I'm not brushing my hair right now because this is what has happened after using the Tangle Teezer. Okay, so I washed my hair last night, literally just brushed it through and let it air dry. I have done nothing. This is my hair as is. It definitely reduces the frizz. I feel like my hair is softer after using this with wet hair, and it doesn't like, you're not like struggling with that when you're wet hair, and you're not losing any hair. Like it just so literally this has become my travel brush, and this is my at-home brush, and I am obsessed. Favorite movie? This one, after a really long time, I've seen a movie that has like blown my mind. It's Weapons. Okay, oh my god, it's so unpredictable. I love it. Like I thought this was gonna be like, one of those real life, like, oh, children go missing kind of situations. But man, was I surprised by this movie. When I was watching it, and like Weber said something that really was true, that he's like, if a movie gets you to put your phone down and not play Candy Crush while you're watching it, you're really like glued. And that's what happened with this one after a really long time. Otherwise, I'm like doing my Candy Crush watching, like, haan, chalo. So good. It's January. You guys know what my favorite moment is. It's completing yet another Mumbai marathon. Okay, so I ran the half marathon, 21 kilometers. This was my 11th one. Now when I think of it, I'm like, oh my god, I've done like over 10 Mumbai half marathons, which is quite insane. And this was really special because this is the first time I fundraised. So I ran on a fundraiser bib, as you know. And I fundraised for 3 amazing animal welfare charities, Yoda, World for All, and W.A.G.s. I also did a sale with Bombay Closet Cleanse for my clothes, and all the proceeds from there also went to the fundraiser, which was really amazing. And I think we raised quite a bit together. So thank you to everyone that contributed. I ran, you guys supported me and supported the amazing charities. And it was really special, and I will remember this one. Up next, we have a new favorite mascara. Okay, guys, this one is from Charlotte Tilbury. I am obsessed. I recently started using it in December, and man, it's nice, it's thick, it makes your lashes like 2 fans. I already have long lashes, I know that. So before you guys say, oh, you have long lashes and all of that. But literally, if I wear makeup, like even for an event or whatever, the 2 things that I 100% wear are mascara and lipstick. That's it. Like, if I do anything else, that's a bonus. So for me, a good mascara really goes a long way, and I love this. Like, I've been using it lately for events and stuff like that, and you literally see the difference because, as I said, I'm a mascara girl. I like to just do mascara and lipstick and I'm out the door. This works so well. favorite song. Now, this song is an old song, but it is like my running song, okay? And you guys know Jan is a running month. So when you're running, if you're someone that runs or works out, use this song, okay, while you're working out or running, and come back and thank me, because it is like, I think, such a motivating song. It's from a movie that was way back when, and I watched it in the theater with my friend. I remember the songs were so good that people were singing and dancing, and it was crazy. Like, that's why I also have this core memory, I think, of watching this movie in a theater, which adds to the whole thing. But it's such a great running song. Are you ready? Goal pe goal. I know it's about football, but like when I'm running, I'm like, okay, this is the song. And then there's all like, it's so motivating. You hear the lyrics and you're like, okay, wow, yeah, I can do this. I got this. And I've been running, as you know, for over a decade. So that's why this song has been on my running playlist for a while. Speaking of running, we have a favorite app after a really long time, okay? Strava. Now, a lot of you have seen my Strava reels. I feel like now, like Webber was like, you're only running because your reels are going viral. And that is partly true. There's a kick because I'm enjoying making these Strava reels with my Strava timing so much. Running or any kind of workout, there has to be some motivation for something, right? So when you have a goal, it's really easy. Like, so for me, when I know the marathon is in Jan, I start running in December and I'm like, okay, I'm focused, I'm cued in, and there's something motivating me to keep pushing. And of course, I keep posting my times, and I've always done it even with my Apple Watch earlier, where it gives you that thing of, okay, I did this and this much, I can do better. And it really helps motivate you to keep running and keep going like a longer distance. But these whole Strava timing reels, which are kind of like obviously a flex online, and you're like, oh, I did this just by the way today, with the cool edits and the cool, you know, ways of doing them, has got me hooked. And the app itself has got me hooked, where they have all these challenges, they have all these, it's not free, by the way, there's a 1 month free subscription. It's really interesting because I started on the, literally the 18th of December, which was a month to the marathon. And I was like, okay, if I pay for the subscription after this, because 1 month is free, and that was my gift to me for completing the marathon. I was like, okay, getting a Strava subscription, and I'm going to keep doing this. They give you routes to run. It's also not just for running. They have biking stuff and all of that. I haven't really used that yet. But for running, it is fab. And then you get the your route and the timing and whatever, which you can obviously mask onto your videos or pictures, and that's what's trending on social media. And I think they've done a great job of marketing the app and making it like cool, where people want to run for this. So yeah, I am hooked. I have bought my subscription for the year, and you are going to see a lot of Strava reels. Fragrance that I'm loving right now. Okay, this one is Sol de Janeiro number 68. So good. It has notes of Brazilian jasmine, pink dragon fruit, and ocean air, whatever that means. We don't have ocean air in Mumbai because really there's only pollution everywhere, but it smells so good. I feel like it's, if you want a great fragrance without breaking the bank, this is a good option. It's also great because it's plastic, so you can just put it into your handbag and use this as a body spray, mist, whatever throughout. It's travel friendly because this is a small one. So I remember, I think I got this in December in my PR kits. They had sent me a whole lot of them. I started with this one and I love how it smells. Like, people compliment me when I wear it. And I usually do this just before I'm about to enter somewhere, right? Like where it's fresh. I just spritz myself and I'm like, hello, I've arrived. And people are like, ooh, what are you wearing? So it is so good. Love it. Favorite Jane of the month. Okay, so our Berlins are really iconic because I feel like this is one of the first pairs that I had even thought of, because AT has already the Berlins in a heel that I've worn a zillion times before, okay? Many years ago. And I remembered, I was like, okay, when we do the Mary Janes, we have to do them in that format with the cutouts of the leather with different colors, because you guys know how much I love color. Example A. Example B. I love like a nice pop of color. I had imagined these and I was like, it would be so cool. So we did two different styles. This is the OG, the first one that we did. And I love them. They're so cool. Like if you want a poppy, cool statement shoe, this is the one you want. And of course, it's on discount. So if you want to get these, get them now. Okay, favorite shows. Okay, starting with Amazon Prime because there's only one. It's Beast Games. Beast Games is back, and I don't know why it's just such a hooky show. Like it's a game show, but I think it's like the BAP of all game shows because they take from each show and put into it. Like there are bits of Survivor in this one also. And the way they just throw money at people, like, I don't know. It's like you're also questioning yourself as you're watching it. Like I'm like, would I take the million and leave? Or like, would I not? Or am I a bad person? Am I a good... Watch it. Okay, on Netflix, number 1, Bridgerton. The new season is out. Okay, I love this show. Like, I think I will love anything that has to do with Bridgerton. Like, I am hooked. The costumes, the plot, the everything. I am obsessed. Don't say anything bad to me. My judgment is clouded, and 4 episodes is just not enough. Then we have Singles Inferno. Okay, now Singles Inferno used to be like the really spicy in a Korean sense of dating show, but now it's kind of becoming kind of like too hot to handle. Of course, they're not all just hooking up every like second day, but like there's so much masala, so much drama, and I feel like they are now kind of getting, you know, questionable contestants to like spice it up a little bit, but it's still so good. Like you can't not watch it. Like every season there's like 2-3 people you're like, okay, you love or you hate them, and for them you keep watching. Then we have W.A.G.s to Riches. Again, lots of WAG drama, which is interesting. I feel like everybody today wants a reality show. It's like, okay, whatever the plot is, are you in real estate? Are you, you know, this? Are you that? Whatever. Let's just do a reality show. And I'm all for it because you know I'm a reality show junkie. So whatever's there, I will watch and I will be like, nice, we need another season. But yeah, it's really good. The drama between the women, the politics, and yeah, worth it. Then we have His and Hers. Now, okay, this show is so good. Everyone is very invested, and I know the internet is talking about it a lot, or was rather. Must watch. Like, I was hooked, loved it, no complaints. Then we have a new season of Culinary Class Wars. I love this show, especially because every time I go to Korea, then I want to look up these people's restaurants and see if I can go to some of them, or I'm like, oh, I follow the chefs I like and all of that. And I think this season was pretty cool. The black spoons, white spoons, if you follow, you know what I mean. I did think that the guy who came second would win, but I don't know. Watch it. Tell me your thoughts. Then we have a documentary called The Perfect Neighbor, which was quite heartbreaking, and it's about how a person is killed. So if you're like, you know, sensitive, I would avoid watching it. But it was really hard-hitting to kind of see how neighborhood disputes are often dismissed. We all think, oh, it's just a feud or whatever, and then until it escalates into something like this and someone actually loses their life and you're like, wow, I mean, it's crazy that over something like this, someone was killed. Then we have Evil Influencer. This is the Jodi whatever story. I remember watching the other one, which was I think on Hotstar earlier, the same like documentary in a different version. And it's just, again, horrific, heartbreaking. And to think that these people were influencers of any sort or like had, you know, a following of any sort is so disturbing. Watch it. Then we have Members Only Palm Beach, which is quite nice. It's like this Delulu reality show of these people living in their little Palm Beach radius and thinking that everything just revolves around them in that spot. Again, it's kind of like a Real Housewives, but as I said, everyone can't be on the Real Housewives, so they kind of have these shows that they come up with bases a theme, and it's pretty good. Then we have Kings of Tupelo. Now, this was really interesting because the guy is like an Elvis impersonator, and then there's this whole crime angle to it and stuff, which you don't expect, like the two worlds to kind of collide. Watch it. Then on Hotstar, we have, obviously we're starting with reality TV royalty. First up, we have The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, the OGs. Current season is on. I'm hooked. 1 episode a week. I'm like, please just drop more. Then we have The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, which was intense, and the reunion was solid. Like, I feel like these ladies are actually coming for the Beverly Hills ladies. Like, they are neck and neck in terms of who's going to be, you know, like on top. And this time they actually were also back to back, right? Like this season is like there was an overlap, and now this has ended and now the focus has gone on to Beverly Hills. So I do feel like Bravo is like testing us to see who we like better, or are they like going to be dethroned, and are these guys the new it housewives? What do you guys think? Then we obviously have Below Deck Med. Finally, the season is over and a new Below Deck is just starting. That's how they play us, you know, finish one, start a new one. But it was so good. I feel like the end, like I was like, what? Then we have a fictional show called All Her Fault, which was again really good. It was about a kidnapping. I was quite hooked, finished it really quickly, very good. Then we have the fictional show on the Murder of Murders, which is really interesting. I actually watched the documentary earlier, which is why I kind of knew what was happening, but it was pretty good. Then we have the Caroline Flack documentary, which is again really interesting because it kind of tells you how a wrong media narrative can really push someone to even end their own life, or how, you know, there's no accountability for things that are said in the media, even if there's no like fact checking and it's all wrong, and how it actually affects people on the other side. And even as consumers of this content, right, like we watch stuff online all the time, or we read stuff all the time, and we're like, oh my god, she did this or he did that, without really getting into the facts, or like, was this fact checked, or is it really true? And it's just really sad, but it's really eye-opening, and I would recommend watching it. So guys, those are all the shows I watched. I watched a lot this month, I think, because I was watching on my rest days also between my runs, and I did 3 days of carb loading, so I watched a lot of shows then. These are my Jan favorites. Comment below with your Jan favorites. You guys know the drill. Food item shows, beauty favorites, any favorites, comment below. See you guys. Bye.